Welcome back to the Lightforge Hearthstone Arena tier list valuation stream podcast YouTube video about Descent of Dragons, and we are now on Shaman. This is not Victim.
This is Merps. Hello. I am still here. I'm still sane. Okay. Let's talk about Shaman. I will talk about Shaman. All right. Shaman's best card is Lightning Breath.
No. I'm gonna stop you right here. Shaman, best card is Faceless Corruptor.
Okay.
Because Shamans have a totem that is useless that becomes a 5/4. That is huge. True. We didn't cover it in Paladin because Paladin had a lot of other ridiculous stuff going on. But this is like true for Paladin too. Your best card in the best neutral card in the game is even better for you.
It is true. Look, Faceless Corruptor is higher in Shaman than like every other class. I think that's true, right? Yeah. And it makes sense. They have bodies, pretty useless bodies. Sorry, totem lovers. You can turn into a 5/4 with Rush, and even if you're a totem lover, I think you agree a 5/4 Rush is better than a totem. Sorry, guys. Yep. So, yes, the best card for Shamans is Faceless Corruptor. I mean, look, you were going to draft Faceless Corruptor anyways in every other class. Did you need extra incentive to draft it in Shaman?
Now Maybe. You have it.
I don't know. Now you have it. So weird. Okay. The best class card introduced in Descent of Dragons for Shaman is Lightning Breath. Lightning Breath is a 3-mana rare spell. 3 mana, deal 4 damage to a minion. Shadow Bolt is pretty good. If you're holding a dragon, also damage its neighbors. Keck W. Holy cow. Okay, do you guys like 3-mana Flame Strikes? I don't know. I think a 7-mana Flame Strike is pretty decent.
It's 200 rated.
Yeah. So look, it won't go off all the time, as with everything else if you're holding a dragon.
It's actually rated lower than a Lightning Storm. Just FYI. By 2 points.
Because dragon, like we said before, you're not always going to be holding a dragon. Lots of times you want to use this beforehand as well because you just need it for the tempo. But if you are holding a dragon, holy cow, it is so good. It is so good. And that's why it is where it is. It is about equal to Lightning Storm. And I think that's like pretty fair. Lightning Storm hits more things. You don't need a dragon in your hand to activate Lightning Storm. And yeah, that's basically it. But this thing is super duper premium. Yeah, it is a 184.
Lightning Storm is going to get better too after you hear one of these other cards.
I know.
Okay. Very close to it at 179. So you remember in Rogue where like 10 of the Rogue cards are better than any Descent of Dragon class cards that Rogue, 10 of the Rogue's class cards are better than the Rogue Descent of Dragon class cards. And before that, everybody had ridiculous Descent of Dragon cards that were better than all their class cards. We're back here now with Shaman. And Shaman has some ridiculous cards, right? But the top 4 cards here are all, like the top 4 Descent of Dragon class cards are all better than other Shaman class cards. This is number 2 on the overpowered list. Oh, sorry, with the exception of Lightning Storm. So not that good. It's the top 3. It's late. I'm not counting right anymore. Alright, so 3 of the top 4 are Descent of Dragon cards. 3 of the top 4 Shaman class cards are now Descent of Dragon cards. We went over Lightning Breath. We're now going to go over Storm's Wrath. Storm's Wrath is 179. It is 1 mana. Give your minions +1/+1, just like Mark of the Lotus. But, you know, that card was stupid OP. So instead, we're going to give it Overload 1. So and it's still stupid OP.
If you guys watch the reveal stream, Ixar and Crip, who both did a really good job. I think I need to shout that out. They both did a really great job introducing the cards. But Ixar made a point, and Crip was like, oh, this is like Mark of the Lotus. Ixar was like, yeah, that was probably one of the like top 3 or top 5 cards that we've ever printed. And yeah, it's true. Now, I know a lot of you guys will be thinking, it's like, no, wait. Like, no, like most powerful cards, you guys can choose. There were a lot of cards that, because of the meta, because of combos that can be initiated with it, you guys might not think of Mark of the Lotus. But Adukta, you are a game balancer, right? You like design cars. Mark of the Lotus was one in which when you saw it, you were just like, this is stupid. Like, cards cannot be like this. And that's what Ixar meant. Just like stand-alone stats for its mana cost. Mark of the
Good
Lotus
with
was
everything. Like,
not supposed to exist. Yeah.
Synergizes with things, playstyle specifically, but also good with everything else. Like, it's just... It was not a card that should exist, and adding one overload to it does not make it that much less broken.
No,
especially because it's a Shaman, which has totems, right?
Yeah, you can use it, and this might once again fall. Like, stay with me, guys. 1/3s are a lot better than 0/2s. Crazy.
Like, a lot better. I know how much you like 1/3s.
Oh man. Okay. So that is Storm's Wrath coming in at a 179. Now, if you guys are wondering partly why Lightning Storm is so good, it's the next card that bumps it up a little bit. We're looking at Squall Hunter, 4 mana, 5/7 dragon. Spell damage +2. Wow. This thing is pretty crazy. Merps, Overload 4, Overload 5, it's Overload 2.
Welcome to the new meta.
Oh god. Oh god. What? Like, seriously. Okay. All right. So this thing is pretty good. Look, 4 mana. If you thought like a 4 mana 7/7 was good, that's still good. But this, you gain +2 spell damage for 2 less attack. And on 4 mana, that 7 attack is not as relevant. And you get a dragon, and you get +2 spell damage, which for Shaman especially is really, really relevant. +2 spell damage is really good, guys.
So Shamans have this Lightning Storm card that we talked about. That's the best Shaman card at 186 in this meta. Shamans also have this Maelstrom Portal card that we haven't talked about yet, but that's 172. That makes it right below Squall Hunter. And it's also really good, and it deals 1 damage to all your opponent's stuff, which means now it deals 3 damage to all your opponent's stuff. It's
pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb. Look, if you guys just think of it this way, a 6 mana 5/7 dragon with spell damage +2, is that a good card? That's a really good card. Now you can get it out earlier, and the fact that Overload is not bad now. Lots of like Overload. And they brought this up during the stream as well. Like, they have made Overload into a positive, even with a lot of cards, because if you're overloaded, you can do things like one of the cards that we're going to talk about. So, that is Squall Hunter.
Or also, like, Lava Shock is back. So that's the 2 mana, deal 2 damage, unlock your overloaded mana crystals, and that we rated a 150, which is insanely high because of all these overload cards and stuff.
Pretty crazy.
But something else I want to mention with Squall Hunter, just how freaking broken it is. You guys remember this forked lightning card that was in Classic, where it's like 1 mana, you overload 2, and you like deal 2 damage to 2 random enemies. So it was like a 3 mana cleave, and it was like not that great. I think we've always rated it around like a 110. It dropped as low as a 90 at some point, but I don't think we've ever put it over a 120. Well, it's 140 now. Like, with a large part because of the Squall Hunter card. The Squall Hunter card has the offering bonus of being a class card, has the offering bonus of being an expansion card, like a new expansion card, and on top of that, remember, we're still in the Galakron classes, so it has an additional 1.5x multiplier on it because they removed a Galakron card, so it has to fill its spot. So... Like, you're just gonna see, like, I don't think people understand, like, assuming that all of this is working out the same way that it used to work out. I don't think people are grasping yet the amount of these cards we're gonna see in Priest and Shaman. Like, they're going to be everywhere offered, and you're always gonna take them because they're so, like, good.
Yep. Cool. All right. So, like I said, guys, Overload is not a bad thing. And the card coming up next at an even 150. So, barely makes Adulta's should not be printed list. It is a Cumulo Maximus. All right. What is this card? It's a 5 mana, 5/5 elemental. Oh, pretty decent. Battle Cry. If you have overloaded mana crystals. So if you guys realize how this sort of works, it means you could be overloaded this turn, or you could have like be
you could play it on the
overloaded
same turn.
next turn.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So it counts on the turn that you play the overload and the turn that you were suffering from the overload as well. If you have overloaded mana crystals, deal 5 damage. Not deal 5 damage to minions, not deal 5 random damage. Deal 5 damage. You target it at their face, okay?
It's an ultimate infestation without the armor and the card draw for 5 mana less.
This is really freaking good. So now you see how all these cards are shifting all of them up. This is why Lightning Storm in different metas is definitely not a 186.
Yeah.
But in a meta with Squall Hunter and Cumulo Maximus, that is a 186. It's like, wait, is Lightning Storm good? Yeah, it's really good. It's just a premium AoE. But if I can get spell damage on it, and after I'm overloaded, I get to deal 5 damage, is that really good? Yeah, that's game-breakingly good. So that is why Lightning Storm is that high. That's why, like Lightning Breath is really high because, hey, you're definitely drafting Squall Hunter, right? And so all of these are pushing up all of the rest of them as well. And if you're favoring these overloads, well, Lava Shock is going to be really high as well at like a 150 because you're going to really go after these overloads. So all of these, because of this network effect, it's pushing up all of these scores. And you're going to get off for these, like Alex said, because the Galakrond cards aren't in here. So you want a Squall Hunter, you're probably going to get one. And that is sort of Shamans. They are going to be able to get these. And there's some power to that. Like if you know you're going to get something, that is quite powerful.
So,
cool.
And the epic cards, remember, isn't just an extra 1.5x multiplier, it's a 2x multiplier. Because there's only 2 epic cards and one of them doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So that's Cumulo Maximus. It's an epic card, but it'll have double the offering rate of other epic cards in the expansion. Alright, so after that, Cumulus kind of ends the ridiculous cards, right? Cumulus 150. It's hard to find cards around 150, but that's like where Bloodlust is about, like Totem Golem. Okay, next, we're going to go with Surging Tempest at only a 93. I know people are going to have problems with me on this one. So Surging Tempest is a 1 mana 1/3 elemental. Has +1 attack while you have overloaded mana crystals. So again, it's the turn you play them, and it's the turn afterwards. It only gets +1 attack. It doesn't get +1 attack per overload. So it becomes a 2/3 if you have overloaded crystals. Now, you're not going to overload on turn 1 and turn 2, most likely, like Totem Golem aside. All other overloads that you have access to in the early game is removable. And you're probably not going to want to do that because it'll throw you off curve. So it's very, very, very hard to make this work on curve. And when it's not on curve, it's a 1 mana 2/3 at best. That is not good after turn 1.
This is not a Tunnel Trog.
Yeah.
Tunnel Trog is so much better. Tunnel Trog can easily grow into something huge. This is capped, and its cap is very, very low. So that's why it is where it is.
Yep. 1 mana 1/3 bad? Yeah, 1 mana 1/3s are not good, especially when you don't have a ping.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't think I don't know if Dire Mole is in this set. I don't think Dire Mole is in this set, but Dire Mole will be pretty low for Shaman. Okay. I think that may be it, because there's very few cards in these classes that follow. So that's it for all the Shaman cards, besides the legendary ones. So let's talk about the legendary ones. You got some good legendaries here. The first one is Nithog at 168. Again, past the line of which I don't think cards should exist. Maybe legendary cards, who knows. It's a 6 mana 5/5 dragon. Battlecry, summon 2 O3 eggs. Next turn, they hatch into 4/4 drakes with rush. So if your opponent does not break your eggs, that means if you have control of the board and your opponent does not have like rush minions, because assuming they don't want to use removal on this, you will get a 5/5, 4/4, and 4/4.
Pretty decent.
That's 13/13 worth of stats for 6 mana.
Yeah, and also it's very important that it's separate bodies too. It's separate bodies, and even if like worst case scenario, right? Even if they're willing to able to take care of it, you're playing like a large taunt, you know? Like you're basically preventing quite a lot of damage there. So pretty good. Pretty good stuff.
Yes. But yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, and yeah, like the all 3 eggs they can pop. So if they have the board, they can pop the eggs and prevent the 4/4s. But then you're dictating where they're like throwing their damage, right? And they can't trade the way they want to. It's a whole thing. It's very good. The next one is Bandersmosh. Bandersmosh is fun, and it's 130, which makes it also good. 130 is a card that you want in your deck. Those are your like low premium cards. And it's a 5 mana 5/5, and each turn it's in your hand, transform it into a 5/5 copy of a random legendary minion. So
it's good.
Legendary minions oftentimes have weird abilities, but they're not as impactful as you might think.
Yeah.
Because I think the first reaction I had and Merps had was, okay, legendary minion effects going to be better than regular minion effects. And then we stuck into the algorithm, and it was like, nah, just slightly.
Just look at all the legendaries, and also look at the fact that you have to cycle like it's randomly cycling through them. So it's not that great. Like you can't plan for it, and card that you can't plan around, well, that's not that great. So sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Man, when you lose against a Bandersmosh into like I don't know, a high reek or something, is that even possible? You're gonna be super duper salty. But
yeah,
that's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get to choose when you play it, but you also don't, right? Like what you want to do is like the decision you make is, do I play it now or do I roll the dice again? So much RNG.
Yep. But for how much RNG it is, it's still 130, which is good.
Yeah.
Like that's good. So all right.
That's it for Shaman. Merp's already talked about how all the network synergies works. I think that was the best description of how Shaman's going to work in this meta, which means it's going to work. Like, this is a good set.
The algorithm doesn't get excited. It doesn't like look at all this thing and be like, oh my god, this is so good, that's so good, that's so good, and then just like hype itself. No, the machine is cold and calculating. Okay, it basically, if it is pushing all of these up, it's because it sees in its cold Skynet, like kill humanity kind of way. It's like, okay, this is actually good. This will work. That is why it is pushing all of these up.
Yeah.
All right.
So is it going to be as good as Priest, which has a very well-defined game plan? Probably not.
Probably not.
Is it going to be as good as ridiculously powerful Hunter? Probably not. Or a focused Paladin? Probably not. But the raw power is probably going to put it ahead of like Druid and Mage. And I don't know what's happening with Rogue, because it's all about the old classic cards.
It just sounds like typical Shaman, right? Raw power, like, man, there are a few things that can deal with a high-rolled Shaman, but I mean, that's the thing with Shamans. Like, okay, it's RNG of what you draft, when you draw it. Lots of times, like what you roll on the variables. If not Lightning Storm, then it's Crackle, then like whatever on all of those, right? And then it's like, well, do I get the totem that I need? Do I not get the totem that I need? So Blizzard kind of necessarily has to give them some pretty powerful stuff because you have to account for that variability. So that's where we're at.
That's fair. And that's it for Shaman. Do you want to give a shout out to the patrons? I don't have the list in front of me.
Yes. Okay. Give me a sec. Thank you so much to our Patreons. That is 4P Antimatter, Brand New, Chang Yin, Joshua C, Eric L, and RV Night Train. Thank you guys. We appreciate your continued support. All right. That's it for Shaman. We have 2 classes left, Warlock and Warrior. We'll see you guys in the next video.
See ya.
Bye.